Hello, good work, everyone. Wow, Parshas Vayigash, amazing. Interesting cheshbon about Yehuda comes to approaches Yosef and speaks, very forcefully to him. Somebody makes a cheshbon. So what was the reason he did that? Why didn't he do it before? So I heard somebody speak about it, and they say that Lemaisa, each one of the tribes had the capacity to finish off Egypt all on his own. But tzaddikim don't annul a heavenly decree because they don't like it. Tzaddikim annul a decree if that's what the Kodesh Baruch Hu wants them to do. And we know that obviously the Shvatim knew, when the Yosef first accuses them of being spies, so Yosef says, so the Shvatim says, Yaval Hashemim Anachnu, we are to blame. We are guilty that we heard our brother beg us, we wouldn't listen. So for every single thing that they did to Yosef, they're supposed to be punished commensurately. They blamed him for bringing, telling Yaakov everything they're doing wrong, like being a spy, as it were. So they were suspected as spies. Then they threw Yosef into a hole in the ground. They were put into a hole in the ground for 3 days, and then they sold him, to be a slave. And so, because of that, now that we're caught, so they're all supposed to be slaves. That's a midah keneged midah. So that's why Yehuda says, that's it. What else can we say? Hashem has found our guilt. In other words, it's not because we stole now. We didn't steal. But we sold, our brother for a slave. And therefore we are supposed to be sold as slaves. But what happens here is that there's one person over there who is not supposed to be a slave, and that's Binyamin. So if this was a midah keneged midah punishment, what was supposed to happen here is that the one going home should have been Binyamin, and all the 10 brothers should have been enslaved. But instead, it's being turned around, and Binyamin is going to be remaining as a slave, and the rest of them get to go home. Yehuda realizes that's not the punishment. This is not the midah keneged midah, which means this is not something that was decreed mishamayim. That's why he comes forth and speaking very forcefully to Yosef. And he said, Kamocha kepara, I can finish you and Pyre both together. If you upset me. And so it's just an interesting thought. A lot of questions about why do we say, I don't have the answers, but the Aseres Harug and Malchus, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Ben Talion, and so forth and so on. They died because of the sale of the Shvatim, the brothers selling their brother Yosef. So the question still remains, Why 10? Why 10 Shvatim? Why Asar Gemalchus? Reuben did not participate in the sale of Yosef. Binyamin obviously did not. So there are only 9. We see that they made a chayr for anybody who was going to let Yaakov Avinu know about what happened, and they took the Shechina to be the 10th. It's another proof that Reuben was not part of the sale. Not only this, he actually, before Yosef, before they knew that Yosef understands the language of the Hebrew, they told you, don't sin with the boy. In other words, he has nothing to do with that. So, I had an interesting answer today that Yosef himself needed to be atoned for his part in causing the Shvatim to sell him. So there were 10. Interesting. Machshava. But the amazing thing is the relationship between the tzaddikim and the decrees of the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Rabbi Chanina ben Tardion, it says in 2 different places in the Gemara, one Maseches Kalon and one I don't know I'm not sure about how he died. So they said that he was wrapped up with the Sefer Torah. He was sitting there with Sefer Torah, and he was wrapped up with Sefer Torah, and they tied firewoods around him, and they set it afire, and they put a wool sponges against his chest cavity so that his heart will not burn up, so he will live longer and suffer through the anguish of being burnt alive longer. So his executioner told him, if I will add on to the fire and remove those the woolen sponges from your chest cavity so that you will die quicker, will I have Olam Haba? So Haran told him yes. So he asked him to swear, asked him to swear to him. So he swore to him. So the executioner added to the fire, took the woolen sponges from his heart, and as the fire went up, the executioner threw himself into the fire. It was burnt up together with Chanina ben Tardion, and they both, Baskel came out and says they're both going to Olam Haba. And Rebbe cried, said the famous saying, Yesh koina olamoi b'shal echas. Somebody can buy this Olam Haba with 1 hour, some in many, many years. In a different place, I think in Maseches Kala, it says a different version of that particular story, which is fascinating. It says that what actually happened was that the executioner came to the home of Chanina ben Tardion, knocks on the door. He says, "Are you Chanina ben Tardion?" He says, "Yes." He says, "Well, I'm your executioner. I'm supposed to burn you alive." So he says, "Go ahead." So he takes him, and he wraps him with Sefer Torah, pours, I don't know, some spirits on him, whatever it is, to make the fire catch up, and he starts trying to fire him up, but the fire does not catch. Rabbi Chanina ben Tardion, the Sefer Torah, and all the woods, firewood around him, and does not catch fire. It's not just, it's like not just fire retardant. It's just that it doesn't catch. The flames do not catch. So the executioner asks him, what's going on? She says, well, I said a name that will prevent the fire from burning. Here we're not talking about, whoever said to the chometz, to the Shem to burn, will said the chometz to burn, like Rabbi Mendoza. Here we're talking about spirits. It's supposed to burn very quickly. Nothing new, you say. So the name, it shouldn't burn. Says, and so says, why did you come with me? You knew it wouldn't burn. So he says, something. So the executioner tells him, if you are such a person and that can tell the fire not to burn you, I don't want to have anything to do with burning you. You can go. So Rabbi Chaim says, I'm not going anywhere. What? He says, I'm not going anywhere. What do you mean you're not going anywhere? He said, I have asked a Shaila in the Shemayim if I'm supposed to be killed or not. So as long as I don't know what the answer is, so I stayed the fire, told the fire not to burn me. But if the fire is supposed to burn me, then go ahead, you can go ahead and do it. So he says it doesn't make a difference. I mean, Mishamayim, they say that I'm supposed to be killed. It doesn't matter. It's going to be you. It's going to be, it's going to be a snake. It's going to be a lion. It doesn't make a difference. So when I say I'm supposed to die, I will die. It doesn't make a difference. So the executioner says, but if that's the case, why me? Why did Kadosh Baruch Hu send me to do this? Why didn't you just, have a snake bite you or whatever? So the told him, because the Kadosh Baruch Hu wants to punish you for burning me alive if I am supposed to be killed. So, so when would you know? In an hour. So it comes. So in the meantime, he says, I don't understand, says the executioner. How come all the nations, Rome, whatever it is, are controlling you? If you are such people that you can prevent fire from burning you, how can we, the Romans, rule over you? And he says, because it's Gzera Mishamayim. Yes, we can get rid of you and the Romans and everybody else. But if the Kodesh Baruch Hu wants to make a Gzera, we want to do what the Kodesh Baruch Hu wants to happen. This is what we wanted. We are not in it, for what we would like. It's what the Kodesh Baruch Hu wants. So you come in an hour I'll let you know if there is, and in an hour later, so the executioner says, well, what's the story? She says, well, the story is, yeah, I'm supposed to die. Go ahead. And out of the flames. And this is when the fire burned. And the executioner, jumped into the fire together with him. These are the tzaddikim. That's the koyach of the tzaddikim that the people in the world just do not understand. They have all these Michigan ideas about how they're going to do this to us, do that to us. They don't realize they cannot do anything to us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want that. The tzaddikim in all generations could stop whatever it is that need to be stopped. We are not in this business, as it were, to live Chai Olam Hazeh in order to get the world to act the way that we want it to act. It's all about Olam Haba. That explains a lot of things about why didn't Yosef let his father know that he was alive? He's the king of Egypt, can send him a telegram, something, I don't know. But it's even a bigger question because Yitzchak knew that Yosef is alive, but he would not let Yaakov know. Why? He said, Kodesh Baruch Hu didn't let him know. I'm not going to let him know. A tzaddik is not as like, it's not this olam hazeh kind of fake rachmanis, what looks like rachmanis. So let's, without further ado, let's get into Amalav Amalka, the Maisa from Baal Shem HaKodesh. The Baal Shem HaKodesh, Rabbeinu HaKodesh, and many others, their minig, his minig was in Rosh Hashanah to daven Shmoneh Esrei, a very, very long time. Sometimes he would stand for hours and daven Shmoneh Esrei in Rosh Hashanah. The rest of the Mispalim would go home and, to eat something and make Kiddush and eat something and come back until Baal Shem HaKodesh will finish his tefillah. But this most of the olam was to be there, but his talmidim would stay around until Baal Shem HaKodesh would finish. One time, his talmidim also had a very weak. They felt very, very weak, and they went home. They also went home to taste and make a kiddush, and since they didn't stay for a long time in their houses, they were sure that when they'll come back, the Baal Shem HaKodesh will already be over his. Will still be davening Shmoneh Esrei. They came back. They saw Baal Shem HaKodesh finished. He finished, and they asked him, like, what gives? What happened? So he told them, Baal Shem HaKodesh told them a ma'aseh. Many people stood next to a very, very tall tree. One of them had a really good eyesight, and he saw that, like, close to the very top of the tree is astonishing, a beautiful bird standing. The other people could not see that. So this person had a great cheshek to take the bird from the tree, but the tree was very tall and there were no ladders there. But the person had such a great craving, so he says, "What should he do?" So he said to the people, "You know something? We're going to make a human pyramid. Let's go stand one on top of the other." And he went, and he went all the way to the top of the tree, and he sent out his hand to retrieve the bird. And without the people, if that person would have thought to move, everybody underneath him, the human pyramid, they all fall down. Hashem HaKadosh told him, "You should know. I'm the same way. When I'm davening Shmoneh Esrei, all the olamas are open, and the Heichal Mashiach is also open, which is Kerat Tzipor. That's the nest of the bird." The HaKadosh says, he says, "And I have a tremendous cheshek to get to the Kerat Tzipor, to the bird's nest, to the Heichal of Mashiach, but I can't get there. As long as you are around me, I put you one on top of the other, like a human pyramid. And I'm just standing on top of you. But this can only happen if you are with me in the Bismidrash. Then I can be meschazik and get all these madrigas. Today, when you left, I fell too. So I had nothing else to do. So I finished my tefillah." This is a very non-Baal Shem Tov like Sichos. It's not, these are not the kind of stories that we usually hear from the Baal Shem Tov. We know that we are resting, we are leaning on the tzaddikim, we are leaning on the kayach. We do the tshuva the best way we can, and the tzaddik with his koich is actually finalizing our tshuva. But here, and we also know, listen, unless you do whatever it is you can do, you do the kind of tshuva that you can do. If you don't do anything, the tzaddik is not going to do the whole work for you. But if you do whatever it is you can, and whatever it is that you can do, doesn't mean that like 110%. If you can do 110%, then bevakasha adabim, by all means. But most of us, doing 3%, 4% is the best that we can do. So this is our 110% is 3-4%. It's a whole sicha all its own, just to get into this conversation about, trusting HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when we come to sort of like judge who we are, the way we are, and what's going on with, and so forth and so on. But this is when things have to do with our own particular avodah and our own particular development. But what we learn over here, and it's something Rabbeinu spoke about in Sichos also, when he says about Elisha, that Elisha, the prophet, Rabbeinu says sometimes he's called Elisha, sometimes he's called Isha Elokim, the man of God. He says, when, those days, the days when the Nevuah was available, so the days of the Nevi'im were the days where there used to be prophetic academies where the novices used to learn the discipline that was necessary in order to get into a prophetic state. Now, there were many prophets in every generation during the age of the prophets. The only thing that we have left written down is only the prophets that have to do, with the future of Klal Yisrael. But there were many, many people who prophesied during that time. And all they're called Bnei Nevi'im, the prophet novices, they are, each one of them is like, as it were, are good enough to be, in the bees, in the beehive. All the bees basically come out of the same egg that the queen bee is laying. The difference between them is that those who would be queen bees are, the eggs are laid in bigger, hexagon silos and being fed different kind of food, so they grow up to be queen bees or potential queen bees. All Bnei Nevi'im, all the prophet novices, each and every one of them could be a Navi. We're talking about an unbelievable level of Kedusha. During the Dora Midbar, it says, the Rambam says that the Moshe Rabbeinu says to Yoshua, Mi ten kol am Hashem Nevi'im. Alavai Kadosh Baruch Hu make it so that all the people of Israel will be Nevi'im. When Moshe Rabbeinu tells Kadosh Baruch Hu, I don't know, it's like it's too much for me. So Kadosh Baruch Hu says, okay, get 70 people and put from your spirit upon them. And the boy comes and says, Eldad Umeida, they're still prophesizing in the Machne, they're not part of the 70. So Yeshua says, my master Moshe, either, incarcerate them or, give them public jobs, and they'll finish off by themselves. So Moshe Rabbeinu says, "What, are you jealous for me? Alavai, all the people of Am Yisrael were all prophets. Why was Yeshua so upset? Because the prophecy of Eldad and Medad was that Moshe is going to pass away, and Yeshua is going to be the one who's going to bring the people into Eretz Yisrael. That's the thing that upset Yeshua. Nevertheless, Moshe Rabbeinu says, "What, are you jealous for me? Alavai, the entire Jewish nation were all Nevi'im." So the Rambam says, because of that, it means that what Moshe Rabbeinu says, Alavai, that all the people were Nevi'im. The Rambam says all the people of Am Yisrael, they all sought to have the madrega of nevuah and to achieve being prophets. The Rambam says that most of them got it, but not all of them. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu says, Alavai, that all of them would have been Nevi'im. Just to put things into a little proportion, of who our forefathers were. So Rabbeinu says there are certain places where it says Elisha, it says a place it says Isha Elokim, the man of God. What's the difference? So he says when the Bnei Nevi'im, where the novice prophecies, the students in the prophetic academy, the prophecy academy, prophetic, I don't know what you call it, were with him, he had the stature of Isha Elokim. When he was all on his own, he was Elisha, big enough. Nevertheless, that teaches us that there is a give and take relationship between the tzaddik and the people. It's not just that the tzaddik takes care of us. The tzaddik needs us in order to do his avodah for Klal Yisrael. It's a whole different histaklus to what has actually happened, the interrelationship between us and the tzaddik. The tzaddik needs you. In this generation, you and I are the people of the tzaddik. How easy it is for us to look at ourselves and, are you kidding me? I mean, previous generations, you had, Rabbi Cheshen, you had Reb Shmuel Shapiro, you had the Reb Nachman, the Baal Likutim, you had Reb Nosson, you had us, yes. But what? I'm speechless. What do you mean that I would? What good am I? You don't know what good you are. Kadosh Baruch Hu knows what good you are. Your opinion on yourself does not amount to hill beans. It doesn't matter. Kadosh Baruch Hu put you here in this world and brought you to the tzaddik in order for you to serve Kadosh Baruch Hu to the best of your ability at various times. And it varies, sometimes more, sometimes less. And what you need to do more than anything else is pay attention and want to do the best you can. Now, the results, you don't know how to measure them. You have no idea how to measure the results. No way. You should know that in order to serve Kadosh Baruch Hu, you simply need to ask. You're not supposed to, create explosions and fireworks. That's not what you need to do. You need to put in your tzitzis, in the morning you put in your tefillin, ask Kadosh Baruch Hu. Every once in a while, Kadosh Baruch Hu does you a favor and allows you to open your heart a little bit and ask, really with a feeling, please help me serve you. But when that doesn't happen, you just say, as simply and straightforward as possible, please bring me closer to you. Please bring me closer to the tzaddikim. Please allow me to do what it is that I need to do. I can't do it on my own. Please. I know what is wrong when I'm doing wrong, but I have no idea how to do right, how to do right better. So you just ask. Just ask. Say thank you, and we ask and wait. With this, as Rabbeinu says, you are preparing mortar and bricks, and I'm building the buildings from them. Every mitzvah that you do, every mitzvah that I do, every tefillah that you do, every, staying away from a bad machshava, trying to not look, where you're not supposed to look. This is another brick. This is another, slab of mortar for the tzaddik to build. The tzaddik cannot do his work without you. Obviously, you cannot do your work without the tzaddik, but the tzaddik cannot do it. The tzaddik needs you. Kodesh Baruch Hu needs you. The world cannot exist without you. How do I know? I don't know the world cannot exist without me. I mean, it sounds very nice, but how do I know? And that's a fact. It's very simple. Kodesh Baruch Hu is 100% precise. You are in this world. You are in Yiddishkeit. You are a Torah Jew. That means that you are a must. It's not like, it's as an option, with me or without me, no such thing. This world is incomplete without you. Baruch Hu needs you. The tzaddik needs you for his avodah. Without you, personally, you, me, yeah, you, the avodah of the tzaddik is incomplete. Let's take a quick look, Bezat Hashem, at Sichos Haran for this Motzei Shabbos. Better, think about this. Think about what it is that what we're talking about, because this is a major Indian here. Here we go, Sicha 220. One time, by the way, this Sicha and Sichos Haran, the Satmar Rebbe, Rabbi Yoelish, said that this is a revelation of Ruach HaKodesh, the like of which he has never seen from any other tzaddik. Once Rabbeinu told someone, I'm going to tell you a secret. There's going to be big heresy in this world. Because from Shemaim, there'll be heresy will come to the world. You're talking about, in that generation, practically everybody was religious. Everybody. Practically everybody. There will be big epicursus in the world for the tests, to test people. And I know that my people, even without it, without showing this chazik in the Emunah properly, they'll remain in their Emunah the way they're supposed to be done. I'm letting you know. So there will be strength, they'll strengthen themselves even more. Because they'll see that I already spoke about these things before. His holy mouth, he says a few times, he sighed on it, about it, over it, very much as oi. How can so few people stand against the entire world? And he says, very quickly after Rabbeinu left this world, we saw in our own eyes that huge heresy started going all over the world. It has never happened before. He said, even though it's already started before this kind of pandemic of heresy in far lands, was it Germany, whatever it is, but still it didn't come to our state until nowadays after Rabbeinu HaKodesh was Mustalik, and the status of many other big tzaddikim kedoshim, so Nevrocho, this kind of pandemic already came to our land, and the tzaddikim in our generation are screaming, and nobody listens to them because they already gained the upper hand. I'm going to say that that it came to our generations, such a horrible, horrible gzera, that it came in our days and will come through them. Woe to us! What happened to us with our great averas? As Rabbeinu Kodesh Adoneinu Moreinu Rabbeinu Zman Levrocha, and Noira with his Ruach HaKodesh already told us that it'll still spread and spread until in this entire world will become a secular world. As he says, the Rebbeinu says that this is what all the prophets, especially Daniel, and he says, and many will be tested, the strong ones will hold on, the weak ones will be thrown away. And all their kavanah is that in the end of days, Am Yisrael will be tested in their emunah. And there will be many, many that will stand upon them. They'll try to sway them from the holy emunah. These are the heretics, the apikorsim in our days. And they're still doing it. They're still doing it to us. They will come, to sway us from the holy emunah. But since Rabbeinu already told us before that this is going to be the test, obviously, it should be much easier to withstand this test. But still, it's going to be a tremendous incentive. Reb Nosson writes 200 years ago. Be a tremendous test, and many, many people will falter, will fall off. Still, we're writing is so those who really crave the truth, the emes v'emunah k'doisho, and that will remember, will strengthen themselves with the fact that Rabbeinu already told us before. So they will, they'll find solace and strength in a Kodesh Baruch Hu and the Holy Torah, the way that we received from our Rebbe Zichron Rochel in the Gemara and in the Poskim. There's very little that needs to be added, to this. There's so many opinions that distort the straight voice of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, letting us know that what we need to do is strengthen ourselves in this emunah in this generation. Anybody who is pro-Jewish, anybody who is against the filth that they have sprung upon us, anybody that says that all the abominations that are written in the Torah are perfectly all right, is considered to be a Nazi. It's considered to be like worse than Nazi. It will be something phobe, like whatever it is. We're supposed to be ashamed of that. They have no shame whatsoever. And it tells us that's the truth. That means to be with it, to be cultured. That Shivarachim. It is so important for us to daven for the people in our generation. People are so confused. People are already discovering now, a little bit, that the Goyim hate them no matter what they do. No matter what they do, the Goyim hate them. The Goyim don't give a hoot about the Palestinians. They don't care about Palestinians any more than Hamas cares about the Palestinians. And the only people that care about Palestinians are the Israelis, dumb as they are. But they're learning. They're learning there's nowhere to go. Oh, they figured out, something, we're going to leave Israel, to all the Datiyim and the Haredim, whatever it is, and we're going to go to Berlin. We're going to, live with people like-minded like us. 100 years ago, they made a very similar mistake, didn't they? So, what we need to understand is we have to daven for them. We have to daven for them. We have to daven for us. We have to daven to hold ourselves in emunah. It's very easy to mistake yourself and says like, I don't know if what I'm doing is good enough for Elam Haba. What am I going to get? I don't understand. I'm so full of holes. I had more holes in me in my Yiddishkeit than the Swiss cheese. I harbor stray thoughts. The Shem Yerachem, what's going on, or Maisa, whatever it is. It's okay. It's all okay. Keep on davening for them, tmimis, pshitas. You're just adding another slab of concrete. You add another slab of mortar, another brick. The tzaddik is building a wall. What's happening now is, B'ezrat Hashem, the wall is coming to conclusion. B'ezrat Hashem, Kadosh Baruch Hu should help us all. All B'ezrat Hashem, Geula Shleimo. B'ezrat Hashem, we're already after Hanukkah. We're Sor B'Tammuz, Sor B'Teves, of course. And according to the assumptions of people who claim to know, we have a few more months, like 3 more months or whatever it is, till B'ezrat Hashem we will see great Nissen and Moifsim, Hashem Yazor. I don't know. But they believe and I believe, B'ezrat Hashem, Kadosh Baruch Hu should serve us all with great Moifsim. B'ezrat Hashem, Hashem Yazor should have a great month and a great year. And Kol Tuv to each and every one of us. To be blessed with everything that you do. B'ezrat Hashem. And Chaim Tovim Be'emet, B'ezrat Hashem. Good life. Good life. Now, B'ezrat Hashem, hopefully we'll meet together Monday night. I will try Bli Neder maybe to send on the WhatsApp group, maybe some material for us, to look for it, to study, to think about, think about questions, think about things that you would like to discuss. Let's prepare. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a little bit of give and take, so we can not just me talk and you listen, but it'll go both ways. B'ezrat Hashem. Kol Tuv and be matzliach with everything you do.